Hello there, freaks, and welcome to the zombie apocalypse. I know what you are thinking right now. Who the hell is this slug, and why can I smell them through the screen? Well, my name is Viscera, and I'm an artist, and the rest you'll have to learn by monitoring me in a lab somewhere. But I will tell you this. I'm a member of the Object Show community, and if you know anything about the OSC, you've likely heard of Inanimate insanity. When I was 16, this show fully cemented that I will never be a normal member of society. You might have also seen the term gajinka get thrown around, which is basically just a term for human versions of objects, animals, or concepts. These are naturally very popular in the OSC, so like any good cringe little emo girl going through a mental health crisis, I took a stab at making my own. I only did the girls because I exclusively drew women at the time, so let's take a look at, oh my god, what the fuck is that thing? Okay, so like, we can all agree most of these are dog shit, right? My less than good art skills definitely didn't help. I can't point at what exactly makes these look so, like, I don't know, awkward, but I do know I was more focused on making something I could goon to than I was on making them actually, like, resemble the characters at all. But hey, I've grown. I can goon to more than just weirdly proportioned Barbies drawn with a circle tool, and I'm better at character design too. So today we'll be redoing all of these designs and making new ones for the contestants I never got to. This video will be split into multiple parts, each one only covering about 5 or so characters, so this is going to be a pretty long series. But trying to do all of them at once would probably be classified as either a medieval torture method or a serious drug problem, so bear with me, alright? Now sit down, shut up, and get comfortable because we're starting with...
the apple!
What?
A is for apple, so we're starting with...
Take a wild guess, dipshit!
Apple is going to be the perfect test dummy to demonstrate how we do things around here. See, Apple is a really simple design, and these types of designs can be hard to translate to human form. We want to avoid the 10-year-old Fujoshi approach of just sticking these guys in color-coded t-shirts and saying, yep, that sure is Apple alright. So we're focusing on a few different things here. Making the character visibly resemble the original design as close as we possibly can, focusing on making their personality shine through in the design and sticking to a cohesive theme. Those last two are more general design tips, but you don't care about that, so I'll just show you what I mean. Alright, bring her in. Apple, first and foremost, is an idiot. There's really no sugarcoating it, the fact that she's such a complete dumbass is her defining character trait. But that's just the surface level. She's also a fucking face hugger. And in general, super reckless and childish. A lot of people translate this into a super cutesy, kinda kid-like design, and I honestly don't see it. Apples are also pretty strongly linked to academia, which is pretty opposite of her everything. But, can anyone tell me what stereotype is linked to school and also stupidity and reckless behavior? That's right, Timmy, it's the idiot jock. Good job! Oh, did you have a question, Susie? Yes, I know Trophy exists, but that doesn't mean I can't take a different approach for him. To the shredder. Besides, this is purely a fashion choice. In reality, I don't think Apple would be a very good athlete, just given what we know about her. Why did Mifune trust her with a gun? And I didn't stick too heavily to the sporty look. I wanted her clothes and accessories to still have that sort of silly, childish charm to them. I think the silhouette is one of the most important parts to get right. I gave her a short and wavy bob cut that's like vaguely apple-shaped, and to bring back her stem and leaf, I gave her this cute green bandana. As for the body, I gave her a very literal apple shape, and her clothing is just a simple t-shirt and jorts with a bright red Letterman jacket and some sneakers. Surprised she knows how to tie her own laces, honestly, and she's got very few accessories, perfect for, like, I don't know, football or something. The only real one she's got other than the bandana is this apple-shaped hair clip in her bangs. And her t-shirt has a quirky slogan on it fresh from your aunt's collection of Minions memes, probably fished directly out of the Walmart bargain bin. Because let's face it, Apple would probably think this shit is comedy gold. Not that comedy gold, you yowie-brained twits! The last thing I'm gonna mention, just so I don't have to repeat it, is that most of her colors are picked directly from the original asset. But in some cases, the colors are gonna be altered, or there's gonna be more colors than what they originally had. Because some of these guys really don't have enough colors to work on a more complex design. In this case, all I really did was suck the soul out of her body by making her a ginger, but some characters in the future are gonna be a lot more drastic. Closing thoughts? Honestly, huge fan of how the design turned out. I think it's a big improvement from the original while still keeping the vision. I somehow managed to create a character design that looks exactly like she'd follow you to the bathroom. Like, into the bathroom. I nailed the look I was going for, and I think it's a really good balance between the kinda out there concept and her actual canon personality.
And I want you to make me a Krabby Patty! Start digging in your butt, twin.
What?
Next, we have Bot coming in for all the robot fuckers in the audience. I know what you are. Bot is Bow's homunculus flesh puppet who, even before changing their identity, was notably a lot kinder and smarter than her. You'll see Bow in a minute, but they're gonna be almost identical. Well, actually not identical at all, but similar shape-wise. Bot is also really empathetic, artistic, and does what's right. They even use their art to help people. Aw, how cute. I'm sure your little DeviantArt Sparkle Dog OC is so impactful, little buddy. My idea was to not go fully human, but instead design them to be humanoid. At this point, they've embraced being a robot, so we're rolling with that. I also went with like Jenny Wakeman crossed with Hatsune Miku crossed with shitty Disney Channel protagonist fashion. They would really just make these poor girls wear anything, oh my god. They don't really have hair at all. Instead, they have these heart-shaped panels that are the same shape as the weird wing-looking things on the original asset. I extended the butterfly motif a bit by adding these completely useless antennae that Bot would probably only want for aesthetics. On top of that, I made them butt-ass naked, and their clothes are really just implied by the shape. I thought it was a cute idea. I took some of the lights from the pigtails and put them on their joints and also one in the middle of their chest plate here, mostly to keep the design balanced, but also because the children yearn for 2015 FNAF fan art. Under all the metal parts is this freaky black shiny latex material whatever the fuck, which was honestly just for visual interest. Better than making the entire design wider than a golden retriever convention. I'm allowed to make that joke, I'm white and I own a golden retriever. Most of the screen and button things on them are just to make them look a bit more like a robot and less like some pale freak in a weird costume. But there's somewhat of a method to the madness because this panel on their leg here is meant to be something that allows access to controls and repairs for their extending legs. Cause would probably be useful to see those inner workings. Get your hand out of your pants. We could also brainstorm what the other things do though. Let's see. This one shows their battery life, this one switches them to FM radio, this one notifies them of hot singles in their area. Okay, that was Bot. Probably my favorite design of this batch, honestly. Bot is one of my favorite characters in the series, so of course I had to do them justice. I think it's absolutely adorable and just a good design all around. And before anyone gets on my ass for making robot fucker jokes, guys, Bot is an adult, stop clutching your pearls. It's fine. Anyways, on to the one that I already said would be next if you were paying attention. Which you should be, you will be quizzed at the end. Anyways, let's get it.
Well, at least there's nothing left in the house for them to destroy.
Bow is pretty notable for having an evil, fucked up, dark and twisted side. She started as just being an attention-seeking, kinda ditzy valley girl with an aggressive playstyle during challenges. But after her elimination, she went completely insane and feral because she was essentially trapped in solitary confinement so that she wouldn't try to get on the show again. Holy shit, me phone! This would ultimately lead to her death and her becoming a ghost, and in this form she'd end up becoming even more cruel and self-destructive. But also even more Yuri full with Marshmallow. Seriously, they knew what they were doing with Afterlife in the Limelight. Please give us ghost lesbians, Adam, I'm begging you. Anyways, because of this significant change in both design and personality, I decided to make two designs for this video. Could I have just photoshopped a ghost tail onto her and called it a day? Sure. But where's the fun in that? But before I reveal her ghost form, let's start with how she looked before her justifiable crash out. For that, my concept was just to channel the energy of a preppy, popular sorority girl with some really heavy late 90s and Y2K influence. That basically meant she needs to be uber fashionable and covered in pink, rocking that Legally Blonde look, you know? I have her hair tied up into these two absurdly large afro puffs with pink bows in them because, shock of all shocks, that's exactly what Bow is. Plus, like I did with Bot, this hairstyle is similar in shape to the original asset. Considering these guys are basically just heads with limbs for the most part, making that part recognizable is pretty important. Her bangs are also bow shapes because fuck you, it's cute. She's also got some smaller bows throughout her design. This weird belt thing was supposed to be a bow tied up behind her back, but it ended up getting scrapped, so now it's just like a rolled up bit of fabric. I don't know, man. The reason she and Bot are so boobed up is because Bow's silhouette is near impossible to translate to a human body shape without them looking like some kind of man-made horror beyond my comprehension. So I gave them both an hourglass-shaped body to keep a similar shape, but tipped over onto its side. Don't worry, they're still the shortest contestants. Her outfit is simple but stylish. We've got a striped racerback tank top cut low enough to expose her bra, partly because this was common in the outfits I referenced, and partly because Bow would absolutely do this. She's also got these black jeans, yes black, not purple. The purple is just the stand-in so it doesn't blend in with the line art, and I'm gonna be so honest with you folks, I regret the hell out of this decision. I should have gone with a skirt or a dress. It would have worked out so much better, plus it'd push the silhouette more. Unfortunately, I have a rare disease called being a stupid fucking moron. I did, however, give her these wildly impractical heels that would absolutely make her trip and fall during physical challenges, but hey, we're aiming for fashion here, not practicality. If anything about this show was practical or ethical, she wouldn't have exploded and died. Other than that, she's got a bunch of jewelry, but not so much that it's cluttered. A lot of her outfit is glittery because everything is better when it sparkles, of course, and she's just got some makeup and painted nails to really emphasize her girliness. Considering she's one of only 2 contestants with visible eyelashes, I made them roughly the same shape as they are in the original, and I'm pretty sure the presence of eyelashes is supposed to imply makeup anyways. As for why her eyes are a different shape from Bot's, shut up. Looking at it now while scripting, there's probably a few things I would have changed. I already mentioned swapping the pants for a dress, but I also kinda wish I went all out with the camp. That said, it's not the worst design in the world, it still reads as Bow and still fits her personality. It goes without saying, but this also doubles as Bot's design for the first half of Season 3, and their connection is the entire reason I made them look similar. Like, why are you here if you didn't know that? Go watch the show, or maybe just listen to what I'm saying, God. Anyways, let's move on before I have to put Subway Surfers gameplay on the side of the screen.
Good credit, bad credit, no problem. Or you dead? Fuck it, ghost credit. I'm gonna get a Subaru.
I don't need to repeat the personality description, right? Let's just skip the preamble and get straight into it. Like I said, I gave Bow 2 designs, and I don't mean 1 or 2 small changes, I mean I changed her entire look up, so prepare for a bit of whiplash. Oh my god, they turned her emo! She's 100% a poser though. I thought that giving her emo and scene-inspired fashion would be a funny way to reflect her personality change, and would double as a cool way to make her look all creepy and spooky and shit. Also, I just like drawing emo girls, so, the outfit is vaguely similar, but definitely not the same. I changed her skirt to a cami with black stripes instead of a razorback with white ones. She's also not showing off her underwear this time. So while she's lost a bit of her cuntiness, at least she can leave the house in some decent... Oh, never mind. I also can't exactly put jeans on, this, so we've swapped those out for a cute frilly short skirt, and yeah, this works so much better for her. I still wanted her to be all cutesy and feminine despite her new look, because making her anything else is just wrong. She's still Bow at the end of the day. Speaking of, those bows are still in her hair, which are now tattered and destroyed from you-know-what. And for the hair itself, I wanted to go for a spikier look to emulate the shape of the torn ribbons. But I tried to straighten it out in my previous attempt, and ew, I do not like this. But we don't need to give her the hair straightener and risk another explosion. I've got you, babe. I gave her some braids as a little compromise that still keeps the original hair texture. When I was showing off the sketch for this one on Discord, someone asked me who was braiding at Purgatory Mansion, and I think Doe is probably the one who did it. Oh my god, wait, that's so cute. Anyways, we need to move on. She's got some ripped arm warmer glove things. She's ditched most of her jewelry and swapped it out for spikes, as every wannabe edgy kid does, and her makeup is bolder and fully black. I should probably also address the pink elephant on parade in the room, that is her being fully monochrome pink, which was done to make her seem slightly translucent. I mean, I guess I could also literally just make her translucent, but then it would be harder to see her against my background. On top of that, she's got, some boo-boos. So one thing I like to do for characters of mine that are dead is to give them permanent injuries reflecting how they died. So that's what I did here by ripping open her flesh and exposing her bones. I mean, considering she exploded, it should probably be worse than this, but you still need to be able to tell who this is, so no crispy charred corpses today. Sorry. I said sorry! It's part bias and part me fixing some of the issues I had with the first one, but I for sure preferred this version over the first. That said, I think they look so good side by side, even though it's giving the same energy as those old My Little Pony edits where one side is normal and the other side is like evil or sad or whatever. Does anyone remember those? But yeah, she looks good like this. I'm happy with it. Guys, I have a confession to make. I made this design before I finished season 2, so I never actually saw anything of Box until after I made it. Yeah, I'm a fake fan. I'm preparing the YouTube apology video as we speak. I ended up having to go off of wiki information to get this done, but I didn't want to just skip over Box, and I'm too lazy to remake this, so you get what you get. Box is described in the show as meekish and someone who tends to box up her emotions, cause she's also got a deadpan sense of humor that not everyone understands, and most notably is that, she was fucking dead for the majority of her screen time. These motherfuckers were just hauling a rotting corpse around like there wasn't a problem with that. We're gonna draw her as being alive, but the main idea was to make it look like she was brought back to life. So she's gonna be a bit disheveled. I also couldn't really think of any specific fashion style for her, but my train of thought went to something vaguely inspired by hipsters, just more beige. I also decided to make her very masculine presenting, because for one thing, butches make the world go round. And for another, everyone referred to her as male before she was revealed to be alive, so in human form the most realistic option is to give her a look that could be easily mistaken for a man. Her outfit is the most simple so far, unless you count Bot's lack of clothes. Just a sweater, jacket, beanie, ripped jeans, and Ugg boots. I wanted everything to be loose, boxy, and comfy looking. And I don't need to point out any colors because as you can see, it's brown, on top of brown, on top of brown, on top of brown, but I still tried to add some interesting details to keep her from looking like just some guy. For example, I gave her some mud all on the bottom of her jacket and boots. This is to match the discoloration on the asset. I did make it way darker though because there's not a lot of contrast there. I think it sadly makes her a bit less recognizable, but I'm working with what I'm given, okay? On top of matching that discoloration, it's a nod to how she was likely being dragged around in the dirt and mud and such, and also sorta looks like her clothes are wet because she drowned in front of everyone and died thinking that they didn't care. Jesus fucking Christ, I thought this was a show about talking objects. Inanimate insanity is fucked up. This show is not for kids. I also made these seams have a wavy pattern to them, like the edges of thick cardboard, and some band-aids on her face to just hammer in that she must have gotten a bit beaten up. Though I don't think the contestants keep any injuries when Mifon revives them, so as long as we ignore me doing the exact opposite for Bow, these are likely unrelated. After all, she did have her face smashed in with a hammer while she was still dead, and band-aids won't fix that. How much suffering must they put her through? Moving on from the clothes, I obviously wanted to give her a boxy figure because if you haven't figured it out yet, she's a box. I gave her this fuck-ass bowl cut, slightly unkempt, as she definitely hasn't had any time for grooming. I also gave her some eye bags and visible body hair for the same reason. A woman without body hair is like an angel without wings in my opinion. I don't really have much else to say on her. She's not a bad design, but I'm kinda torn on how well it fits personality-wise. That said, Box is one of those really difficult characters to work with since she didn't have any sort of personality up until recently. I mean, she was an annoying gimmick that you couldn't even call a character until the twist at the end of season 2. So it's gonna be up to season 4 to flesh her out beyond what little we already know. Paired with her having one of the simplest designs of the whole cast made her a bit of a challenge. So honestly, this one's a toss-up for me, but still, I hope you like her. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. That is all the little object guys that I have to show you today. I have 3 more that I have already designed, but that got cut from this video because I didn't want it to be too long. So those 3 will actually be in part 2 of this series. Also, sorry if this audio sounds different from the rest of the audio. I'm recording this on my tablet at midnight because I needed to re-record the outro and I completely am too lazy to open up Audacity right now. This is my first ever YouTube video. I'm still kind of learning what I'm doing, so sorry if there's any editing mistakes, sorry if there's any weirdness with the audio. I'm still trying to figure out my microphone and Audacity and all that. The art and voiceover in this video is actually a few months old because I've been working on this video for a while now. I've been procrastinating on it for a while now actually, but I finally got myself a little bit of a schedule for my projects and I finally was able to lock in and finish this. So I'm really happy with the end result. I hope you're happy with it too. I'm glad to finally have it done, and I promise the next video will probably not take as long as this one did. And this is the part of the video where any self-respecting YouTuber is supposed to show their stuff, so I guess I'm going to do that right now. If you liked the art that you saw in the video today, I have a website that I'll be linking in the description below. It is an art portfolio. You can also find my other character design work, and I actually have commissions open for both illustrations and character design. I also have links to my Newgrounds Ko-fi and Discord server on there. Just keep in mind that the Discord server is 16 plus and that my artwork is not intended for a younger audience. If you're specifically looking for more object show stuff from me, and you're interested in a horror comedy object show based on 90s slasher films, I actually have one of those. It's called Roadkill. It is an object show webcomic that I'll also be linking below. It's about a young woman named Controller having to protect herself and her younger sister Tamagotchi from their serial killer neighbor after she suddenly decides to target them. It's raunchy, it's funny, it's gory. If that's something you're really interested in, then you should go check it out. I think you'll really like it. If you prefer more quick-paced comic strips and you like dark comedy, you will probably like my other webcomic Slug Juice, which is available on my main website. It's about my persona and all the happenings she gets up to as a silly little zombie. And if you're into Danganronpa and you want to check out a new fangun in the works, me and my friend Jack are actually working on one. The cast reveal trailer will be linked below on the main writers, so that will be coming out sometime soon. And that's all I really have today, so I will see you guys next time. The next video might not be part 2 to this, the next video might be something else, because I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to do with this channel, but trust me, there will be a part 2. Like I said, I already have a few designs prepared for it, so if part 2 doesn't come immediately, I did not give up on this series, it's just coming at a later time. Thank you so much for coming to the graveyard, and I hope you visit again someday! Goodbye!